What's going on? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to talk about Khamzat Chimaev's recent announcement that he is probably going to come back at UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi, but there's a couple stipulations with that. Khamzat Chimaev wants to jump right into a middleweight title shot, which is absolutely delusional from Khamzat, considering that he has not fought anyone in the top 10 of the UFC middleweight rankings. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And while you're down there subscribing, please turn on post notifications so you guys can get notified whenever I release a video. And let's jump right into the video on why I believe Khamzat Chimaev is kind of delusional right now. Okay, so Khamzat Chimaev just came out and said that he is probably going to return at UFC Abu Dhabi this year at UFC 308 in October. But Khamzat Chimaev says he wants to only fight for the middleweight title. And as we know, UFC 305 is coming around, and that is going to be between Dricus du Plessis defending against Israel Adesanya. So one, I don't even think Dricus du Plessis is going to have the energy and want to turn around that fast. And two, I don't think Dricus is going to want to have Khamzat jump the rankings that much to fight when you have Sean Strickland and Robert Whittaker up there. But Khamzat Chimaev saying this either thinks two things. One, and what probably it is Khamzat Chimaev just thinks he's better than all the competition, which, yes, I understand that you might be better than all the competition, but you have to prove it, especially in the middleweight rankings. There are so many good fighters in that middleweight division, and he has to prove that he belongs in that division. You have the fighters like Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier, Pablo Costa, Jack Hermanson above him, and he needs to beat those fighters in order to get a title shot. Not all of them, but you understand, just to beat one as a stepping stone up to be a top 5 or to be a top 10 guy, then beat a top 5 guy, and then get your title shot. But Khamzat Chimaev just wants to skip all of that just to get right to the title. What I really think needs to happen is Khamzat Chimaev needs to fight someone like Marvin Vettori or Paulo Costa or Jared Cannonier, just so he can be able to give himself a reason to go get the title shot, because as we all know, Sean Strickland versus Robert Whittaker for the title shot might happen, and if not, Sean Strickland is probably going to get the nod, because Sean Strickland just beat Paulo Costa and had an incredible 5-round war with Dricus du Plessis. But Paulo Costa needs to establish himself in the UFC middleweight division. He has beaten no one in the top 15 of the UFC middleweight division, and yes, he did beat Kamaru Usman, but that was a really close fight that he really almost lost in some people's opinion, and a lot of people thought they tied in that fight. But Khamzat Chimaev really needs to take a moment, take a step down, and just understand that he is in the UFC middleweight division, and he needs to get 1 or 2 more wins in order to grant himself a UFC title. That division is incredibly stacked. There's already kind of a line for the UFC middleweight title shot, and I think that Khamzat Chimaev needs to kind of stand in there just so he can be able to get a title shot or have a reason to do so. But Khamzat is an incredible fighter. I hope when he comes back, he fights someone. I hope they make Khamzat Chimaev versus Marvin Vettori. That is kind of my fight that I want to see. Have an incredible grappler. Have someone with an iron chin go up against Khamzat Chimaev. Someone who is also really big for the division, and someone who I think could give Khamzat Chimaev a little bit of problems. And if not, I think you do Khamzat Chimaev versus Paulo Costa. Either way, I think that's going to be an amazing fight to do for Khamzat Chimaev's return at UFC Abu Dhabi. Thank you guys so much for watching this UFC video on Khamzat Chimaev only wanting to fight for the middleweight title on his UFC return. And I think there's a lot of stipulations that go into this. Like, obviously, Khamzat Chimaev does not deserve the shot, and even if he did deserve the shot, I don't think Dricus du Plessis is going to have enough time to turn around, or Israel Adesanya, no matter who wins that fight. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And when you are subscribing, please go down below and hit the post notifications button, just so you guys are always notified whenever I release UFC videos. 98% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so please go down there and hit the subscribe button, just so you guys are always notified on all the UFC content that comes out anytime. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos, and I will see you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.